Alright, so I'm just going to go over my trades for the week of January 21st, 2019. This is just my weekend review. I'm going to go over what I did well, what I did poorly, trades I missed out on. Yeah, let's get into it. It was a pretty shit week, to be honest. I wasn't really thrilled with the way I was trading. A couple things I need to work on, so yeah. Anyways, started the week with pound dollar, right? So I was looking at this level. This is my monthly level right here, right? And there was an H4 level as well that I was using somewhere in here, a pivot. So if we look, came into it once, twice, rejected, right? Consolidating below it, got above it, got back below it pretty quickly. Didn't want to spend a lot of time above this, so I look at this as the false break, right? And this is where I was looking to retest it when it, or trade it when it retests right here, right? Confluence of this H1 breaker, down move before the up move, didn't hold on the way down, right? So I was looking to short it right in here. I didn't short it on this candle. I waited for this to close and then I shorted it, right? This is my confirmation. So shorted it right in here, had a stop loss above here, right? Sold off, broke this. I was aiming for it to come into here and then here ultimately for it to be my first take profit, my first trouble area. And then I was looking for lower prices probably into this, right in here. And then maybe previous week's low. But it didn't come into this level. It rallied up. And at this point when it broke this level, I was like, all right, if it goes back above this high, it's probably going to go higher. So I trailed my stop above here, right in here, above this block, probably a couple pips above, right above there. So I got taken out on this wick. You could have waited for this, and then as soon as it broke this again, you could have just closed your position manually right there. But I just trailed my stop, so I got taken out for a half hour there. And then at this point, as soon as it broke this pivot and it didn't really get back below it, I wasn't really interested in shorting it at that point, because then at this point, dollar was kind of starting to look weak, and yeah, because this was all during while dollar was pushing up too, so I was okay with this. I was okay with this trade. I'm not upset about this one. I think that one was managed decently well. So dollar yen. You can see at the end of the week there wasn't really much, right? I mean, at the end of the week we just ended in this range. It was just a pretty ranging week between last Monday's low and last week's high, right? This is the weekend. Um, so as soon as it broke Monday's low and this pivot, this 15-minute pivot, I was like, all right, this is probably going to break down. So I waited for the breakdown, low time frame breakdown right here, but you can see how many times it just wicked right into Monday's low, right? So I shorted it towards the bottom of this range because I had a clear invalidation level above these highs. Um, so I shorted that, and I was waiting for this breakdown, and I was looking for it to come into this level right here. And fine, you could have said, this is your first trouble area, right? You could have said, fine, should have been taking profit here or here or wherever in here. But this was my first trouble area. That was the major SR level that I identified. And I like that better for the way I trade. I'll show you what that level was. So it was just an H4 level from in here, right? 1, 2, 3. I like the recency of this, right? So that's why I was looking at that. This was another trade I probably would have taken if I was at my desk, and this isn't one I'm too mad about because I just gotten stopped out here and I said, okay, fine, this is probably going to be stuck within this. I wasn't too sure at that point. I was kind of waiting for dollar to confirm it. But yeah, this is definitely something I would have taken if I was at my desk, and just played it in the range because I wasn't too sure, right? So I would have taken it right here and then played it to this low. Not even to this low, but to this range low, right? This would have been your first trouble area, so even if you didn't want to hold it lower, you could have just played it from level to level. But it just chopped around, right? There wasn't really much else to do other than that. I did trail my stop from here to here once it broke down, because once it broke this, right, I was like, all right, fine. If it goes above this high, then it's probably going to go higher, right? Because then it's making a higher high. So I did trail that, so I took another half hour loss on that. So I'm down 1 hour on the week at this point. Yeah, so let's go on to the next one. So this is the one I was very unhappy about how I managed. This is dollar Swiss. So this was the main trade that I was looking for. This H4 level right here, right? You can see right here, rejected once, twice, didn't quite come into it here, missed it by a little bit, didn't quite come into it here, so I was expecting to take these stops into this level, or this little gap, whatever you want to call it, right? So this is Monday's high also, so it wicked right above it, and then it swing failed, right? So even though it didn't come right into this level, I still would have taken this because look, it just closed. That's a nice swing failure. So I would have taken it right there, and looked for lower prices, right? And look, it ends up breaking weekly low, and as soon as it wicked into here, I missed this, so I was like, fine, it wicked into here, it's put in the low or the high of the week, most likely, if it's wicking into weekly open and it can't hold it, right? So I shorted it in here after this candle closed. And I was looking for it to come into here. Well, ultimately, these lows were my first objective, and then here, here, and then lower prices, because I think the macro objective supports that. I think we'll get a nice rollover in dollar, and this will kind of roll over with it. Um, but the issue I had with this trade is I took it knowing I had gap risk here, and I had this SR, this key SR level here, so I put my stop right above here, and I literally got taken out right on this wick, right? right there through for the spread. Um, and this wasn't a really great trade shorting, breaking this down, or shorting the breakdown, right? So a couple things I'm noticing is when I'm shorting these breakdowns is I am getting one last wick or one last opportunity to get up, get in where my stop loss originally was. So I'm getting stopped out a lot by these close proximities. So something I've been tracking is on these kind of trades is what if I put my entry where my stop is, right? So at that point, where would I put my stop? So my entry would have been here, fine, even if you trade at this level, take it here, fine, you take it here, and you put your stop above this high. So at this point, if it's taken liquidity above here and it's sold off after it's taken these stops, you don't want to see it come back above this. Because if it comes back above this, then we're most likely wrong. Then it's going to push up, right? So there's no reason for it to come back above this. So fine, you have a what, 21, 22 pip stop. And you're moving up about 2.2 R right now. Use this as your first trouble area, 0.95 R, right? And you're aiming for this, then ultimately down here. So I'm still looking for ways to get on board this, and I'll show you guys my macro perspective on this. But yeah, I was really upset with the way I managed this, and it was mostly because of this missed trade right here, right? I missed this, and so I forced this, and that's something I need to be able to be cognizant of and recognize. So in dollar Swiss, if we look at this range, right, we're in this range right here, goes below it, takes liquidity below these lows, rallies above, takes liquidity above these highs, right, and then it breaks back below the range, fills in this void, and it gets back within the range and then rallies, and it reclaims, breaks through the mid-range and then reclaims it, right, taps it right there. I don't think it's going to be able to hold this mid-range. I think it's going to roll over. So what am I looking for then? This was my first objective that I was talking about, right, those lows. So when this didn't come into it quite, right, that's what I was kind of waiting for it to kind of roll over a little bit more and take out these lows. But then it rallied and then took it out eventually because of this gap risk, right, that we were talking about. I was worried that this was going to fill in, and that's why I had my stop up there. So at this point, I'm down 2R on the week, right? And once it does break this, I am looking for it to fill in this right here, right? Like we were saying, that lines up with that green line, that thick green line. So looking at taking here, and then maybe we take in this and then take out the lows into this range low. But I am ultimately looking for this. This is my ultimate swing trade target. But you have this as well. You have this as your resistance or support, sorry. But I am waiting for a clean break of this to get back on board then. Unless it trades back into here, then we'll look at it next week. Euro USD. All right, so this is one that I missed. I'm not too upset about this because it was a decent setup. It wasn't like a huge setup. It was a decent setup. It was a nice scalp trade opportunity, but there was ECB right around the corner. So I would have taken it with reduced size if I did take it. And I mean, you can see just by all this bullshit price action, I didn't really want to be trading this shit. I didn't know what the fuck was going to happen after this if it did hit my target, so I just left it alone. I was like, fine, just rather not take the risk, right? I'm down 2R on the week already, don't want to take that third R. And that's what I was thinking, right? And that kind of led to my ultimate fuck up, and that's what we'll talk about after this. Is this low? This is last week's low, right? Come into it once, wick, find support there, right? Rally. And then it breaks this and then rallies back above it pretty quickly. And this is where I got interested, right? Because as soon as it rallied back above this pretty quickly, and then it broke this high, and that's why I was like, all right, look, market structure shifting. We're probably looking for higher prices if we can hold a higher low. So as soon as it comes back into this weekly level, and you can use this as a pivot now, because look, you have that down move before the up candle that broke, or before the up move that broke market structure, right? So I would have been looking to buy right here. And even if you don't buy right here, then you buy it on the retest, right? And you say, look, what's the first trouble area? You say, fine, this is what's capping the market right now at this point. All right, so even from here to here is still 1R if you have your stop from here or here, right? This is really aggressive, right? I would have probably played it around here, somewhere in here, my stop. And this is if you're really conservative, you can say this, fine, this is your daily ATR. So you can use this as a conservative stop. But ultimately, I wouldn't have been aiming for here. I would have been aiming for here. But this is your fine. If it really stalls out here, this is where you take your profit. You still lock in your 1R. This is where I've been looking for, up here. And that would have been a nice like 1.75R. Or if you're playing it really tight, maybe a 2.5R. But like I said, if it come below this low at that point, that was where I would have been wrong. So that's where I would have been more comfortable putting my stop. And this was the one. So I didn't miss this one. I was at my desk. I was just staring at it. I just got gun shy because at this point, it's like it's the end of the week. You're down 2R on the week. Do you really want to take that third R right here, right? So I just didn't pull the trigger, right? And that's one of those psychological things that you have to just be able to overcome. So let's look at it from a macro perspective, and we'll break it down. It's in this range, right? Range high, range low. This is just a daily SR level, and this is an important price cluster I marked out. So basically, you see how we have this grinding up. We have this grinding up through the range, and it takes liquidity above the range high, and then it just sells off. It doesn't waste any time. It has this little consolidation, sells off. Little consolidation, sells off. Little consolidation, sells off. Right? So I think we're going to do something similar here. We've grinded through the range, and we've taken liquidity above the range high again. Right? It sells off. Consolidation, consolidation, sells off. I think we're getting a little consolidation, sell off. Right? So that's kind of what I'm looking for. I don't think this thing will waste any time going lower like it did last time. So this is ultimately the key level I was looking for to break and then take it into the range low and then hopefully look for lower prices after that. But we'll kind of have to wait to see what happens at the range low. So you could have been looking for shorts early on in the week. I was kind of a little bit more patient on this one. I wanted to wait till the end of the week on this one. But you could have been looking for shorts in here because you said, fine, this high is holding. This is the lower high, right? But as soon as it kind of breaks, this is your swing failure, like fine. But as soon as it breaks right here and closes above, this is where I would have been worried, right? Because I said, fine, if this breaks this support and resistance level, then this is going to be a higher high, and you don't want to be shorting into that. So it breaks this, right? It makes a higher high, and you could have been buying this retest, the SR flip, right? Aiming for a scalp for these highs. I didn't because my bias was still bearish macro, so I just left it alone. I didn't think that was a super high odds trade. But this is where I should have been shorting it, right here. This was my trigger, and I got my trigger, and I was staring at it, and I just didn't take the trade because I was, look, I don't want to go down another R on the week after, or at the end of the week, right? Because that's just more I have to overcome next week. And that's just total psychological bullshit, right? So that's something I need to work on. So this up candle right here, this is where I would have gotten short, put a stop above these highs, right? And then look for this, and then this. I could have gotten short again here. I wasn't really paying attention at that point because I was just a little pissed off that this had already happened. So I was like, fuck. I am looking for a retrace, hopefully fill some of this in, get a retest of something like this. But like I said, this thing looks like it just sells off pretty quickly. So at that point, I'll be looking to get on board if it breaks one of these. Right. But this totally should have been an easy trade right there for me because I was stalking it. I was waiting for it. Anyways, so I was able to save my week with silver. I did end flat on the week, 0R. I do have most of this trade still open, so I still do have a huge core position open. I did just take off enough just to kind of cover my my minus 2R loss on the week. So this is my stop, this is my entry, and I'll show you guys why. So this is based on a higher time frame premise, and I thought this looked a little bit more clear than gold. They obviously did move together, and they rallied together today, or Friday, or whatever the fuck it was. But this was kind of my weekly level that I've been looking at, and I really, really like this level. It's a high confidence level for me. And I'm not going to say this had to hold right there, right? I didn't bid it blindly right there. I expected this to hold, but I didn't bid it blindly right there, expecting to catch this wick, because it could have very well broken this and come into this range. But I was expecting if it came into this and it was going to hold, it was going to show me some kind of trigger, right, on the low time frame. So why did I really like this level? These are also my daily levels, right? This is my next targets, right? This is the SR. This is my final target. I think we'll get up here to the 1620, 1615 level. But why did I really like this weekly level? There's a couple reasons, but I'll show you one of them. Right, measure out this daily high to this daily low, and look, you have the 0.618 right there. That's something I look for confluence in my levels, right? You could say, okay, fine, this also has the 0.705 right there, and this is what I was saying, it could have also very well come into this level, but I really like the 0.618 for confluence levels. So what did it show me? So it made this low, but you see, it didn't quite come into it. It didn't quite, it was stopped a little bit short of that line, right, of the SR line, and then this low, that's what took it out, and then it wasted no time rallying. So as soon as it rallied right there, that's what I was like, all right, I want to get involved now. Took out this low and then rallied, right? So as soon as it broke, here's like, okay, fine. As soon as it breaks this right here, this is where I want to get involved, right? Because this is my daily level, this is where I want to get in. So I said, fine, I'm just going to put an order there, and I'll probably get filled, right, with the stop below this low, because if it goes below this low, then it's probably shifting market structure again, and I'm wrong. It could have very well wicked and then gotten back above, right? And if it swing failed this low again, or this SR level again, I probably would have gotten back in, because I did really like this level. But if you look on a lower time frame, right, it's made this higher high, it's made this low, right, and it makes actually clean lows right here, right? So it makes this higher high, this lower high, right? Or sorry, this higher low, right? It doesn't make a higher high here, kind of consolidates, it makes that clean low again, and then this one takes these lows into this block and then just rallies, right? It doesn't make that higher high yet, but then it makes higher lows, higher low, and then it makes the higher high right here, and then it fucking takes off, right? So I got in right here because I was like, fine, as long as this holds right here, right? I'm probably fine. And this is that low time frame block I was kind of basing my stop off of. So yeah, that's how I ended flat on the week. Not too thrilled with this week, but looking to take learn from this week and take more advantage of the markets next week. So thanks for watching, guys.